Hey beautiful people, welcome back to the summary shelf. How are y'all doing today? Really, how are you? Drop it in the comments. We've been diving into some deeply moving books recently, and if the last lecture or When Breath Becomes Air hit you hard, then get ready, because today is Tuesday, and the universe lined it up perfectly for us to revisit one of the most heartfelt, soul-stirring books ever written. Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. This is not just a book, it's a life class. The kind they never taught us in school. Written by journalist Mitch Albom, this memoir captures his final 14 Tuesdays spent with his former professor, Morrie Schwartz, who is slowly dying of ALS. But instead of fading away, Morrie uses his remaining time to share the most important lessons on love, forgiveness, aging, family, culture, and death. By the end of this video, you won't just remember Morrie, you'll want to live a little more like him. Let's go, one Tuesday at a time. Chapter 1. The Curriculum. Mitch sets the tone by introducing Morrie, his beloved sociology professor from Brandeis University. Morrie wasn't just a teacher, he was a mentor and friend. But after graduation, Mitch gets swept up in life, the grind, the deadlines, the paycheck. 16 years pass in a blur. Then one night, he sees Morrie on Nightline, courageously talking about his terminal illness, ALS. Frail but radiant, Morrie still speaks with warmth and wisdom. Mitch feels a gut punch of guilt and longing. He realizes he needs to see Morrie again. Thus begins the new class, no final exam, just life lessons. Takeaway: it's never too late to return to what truly matters. Chapter 2. The Student. Mitch flies from Detroit to Massachusetts. What was meant to be a one-time visit quickly becomes a weekly ritual. Every Tuesday, Mitch visits Morrie. He becomes a student again, but this time, the subject is life. He brings a tape recorder to capture Morrie's insights. This decision marks the start of a sacred journey. Mitch is no longer the ambitious, disconnected workaholic. Slowly, he begins to listen, not just to Morrie, but to himself. Takeaway: wisdom doesn't always shout, sometimes it whispers from the edge of goodbye. Chapter 3. The Audiovisual. Their sessions are intimate, tender, and raw. Morrie's body is weakening rapidly, but his mind is still razor-sharp. Mitch records everything. He knows that these conversations are gold, not just for him, but for the world. Each visit, Morrie sits in his favorite chair by the window. He listens to classical music. He doesn't dwell on the disease eating him alive. Instead, he focuses on sharing what he's learned from living fully. Takeaway: you don't have to be strong in body to be powerful in spirit. Chapter 4. The Classroom. Morrie's home transforms into a new kind of classroom. The air is filled with honesty, laughter, and yes, tears. There's no grading scale, only growth. Their talks cover the real questions. What makes life worth living? What do we regret? How do we say goodbye? Outside, the world spins with noise. Inside, there's stillness and truth. Takeaway: in the right space, vulnerability becomes wisdom. Chapter 5. The First Tuesday, we talk about the world. Morrie reflects on how he still finds beauty in the world. A bird chirping, a breeze through the window. These are no longer background noise. They are miracles. His disease sharpens his appreciation. He tells Mitch that once you accept you're going to die, you learn how to live. The fear of death disappears, and gratitude takes its place. Takeaway: awareness of death can make us more alive than ever. Chapter 6. The Second Tuesday, we talk about feeling sorry for yourself. Morrie admits that some mornings, he cries. He mourns what he's lost: independence, movement, dignity. But then he stops. He doesn't let sorrow own his day. He teaches Mitch that it's okay to feel pain, but you can't let it swallow you whole. Feel it, acknowledge it, move through it. Takeaway: pain visits us all. The key is not to unpack and live there. Chapter 7. The Third Tuesday, we talk about regrets. Mitch is haunted by the time he's wasted chasing the wrong things: success, money, status. Morrie tells him that people avoid thinking about death because they don't want to face the possibility of living a life they didn't really want. Morrie challenges Mitch to reflect deeply, regularly. Regrets only fester when you live unconsciously. Takeaway: don't wait until the end to question your beginning. Chapter 8. The fourth Tuesday, we talk about death. This is one of the most profound Tuesdays. Morrie speaks openly about dying. He rejects society's denial of death. Instead, he embraces it, letting it inform his every decision. He urges Mitch to detach from fear, to accept that death is natural, not a failure. Takeaway: you stop fearing death when you start living truthfully. Chapter 9. The fifth Tuesday, we talk about family. Morrie sees family as the foundation of identity and love. He describes how his wife and children give his life meaning, even as his body fails. Without family, he says, you're vulnerable and alone. They don't just support you, they anchor you. Takeaway: a strong family makes facing the end a little softer. Chapter 10. The sixth Tuesday, we talk about emotions. Morrie introduces emotional detachment, not in the sense of numbing, but processing fully. You feel an emotion, you let it wash over you, and then you release it. That way, you're not controlled by it. Mitch, who has been emotionally guarded, begins to open up. Takeaway: emotional freedom begins with surrender, not resistance. Chapter 11. The seventh Tuesday, we talk about the fear of aging. Morrie shatters the myth that youth equal value. He believes aging is not decay, it's growth. With age comes perspective, humility, and depth. In a culture obsessed with staying young, Morrie teaches Mitch to embrace each stage of life. Takeaway: growing older means collecting wisdom, not dust. Chapter 12. The eighth Tuesday, we talk about money. Morrie and Mitch delve into society's obsession with wealth and material possessions. Morrie calls it a cultural brainwashing, the belief that success equals more things: cars, houses, clothes, gadgets. But, as he puts it plainly, if you're trying to show off for people at the top, forget it. They will look down on you anyway. He contrasts this with what actually brings fulfillment, generosity, service, and deep connections. Morrie shares how some of the richest moments of his life were when he was giving, not accumulating. Mitch reflects uncomfortably on his own life, a journalist always chasing the next big story, the next raise, the next rush. But none of it has made him feel whole. Morrie warns that the more you need to prove your worth with things, the more likely you're trying to fill a spiritual void. Takeaway: true wealth is not in your bank account, it's in how much of yourself you've given away. Chapter 13. The ninth Tuesday, we talk about how love goes on. This Tuesday is especially tender. Morrie speaks of love as the most lasting and powerful force in the universe. He believes deeply that love doesn't end when life does. It continues in the way people remember you, talk about you, and carry you within their hearts. He shares the importance of expressing love openly and regularly. Say it, Morrie insists. Say it before it's too late. Too many people, he says, wait, and then it's over. He also shares how he speaks to his deceased mother daily. He doesn't believe that connection dies with the body, it only changes form. Mitch, who struggles with vulnerability, starts to internalize that expressing love is not weakness, it's courage. Takeaway: you don't disappear when you die. You live on in the people you've loved well. Chapter 14. The 10th Tuesday, we talk about marriage. Mitch brings up marriage, its trials, its failures, and the growing number of divorces. Morrie, married for over 4 decades to his beloved Charlotte, shares with confidence. There are a few rules for a successful marriage: respect, compromise, open communication, and shared values. Morrie doesn't sugarcoat it. Marriage is tough. It's not about romantic highs, it's about showing up, every single day, especially when it's inconvenient. He emphasizes choosing someone who aligns with your spiritual and emotional goals, not just someone who looks good in pictures. He warns Mitch against confusing physical attraction with deep partnership. Love each other or perish, he quotes from poet Auden. Takeaway: long-lasting love isn't built on passion, it's built on patience, partnership, and persistence. Chapter 15. The 11th Tuesday, we talk about our culture. Morrie passionately critiques society's toxic values, the glorification of greed, speed, and individualism. He believes modern culture pressures people to chase things that don't feed the soul. Instead of conforming, he urges Mitch to create your own culture, one that prioritizes kindness, slowness, and purpose. It's a call to rebel against societal noise and return to what truly matters. Takeaway: a meaningful life begins where societal expectations end. Chapter 16. The 12th Tuesday, we talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness, Morrie explains, isn't just for others, it's essential for inner peace. He regrets a falling out with a friend he never made amends with, and encourages Mitch to let go of old grudges. But more importantly, he emphasizes forgiving yourself for failures, wasted time, and bad choices. Without forgiveness, he says, we stay trapped in pain. Takeaway: forgiveness is not a gift to them, it's a release for you. Chapter 17. The 13th Tuesday, we talk about the perfect day. This is one of the most poetic and moving scenes. Mitch asks Morrie, if you had one perfect day, how would you spend it? The answer is heartbreakingly simple. He wouldn't go to Paris or skydiving. He'd wake up, have a good breakfast, maybe some eggs and toast. He'd take a walk in the park. Talk with friends. Watch the sunset. Have a nice dinner. Maybe dance to some music. And sleep peacefully. That's it. Nothing grand. Nothing Instagram worthy. Just presence. Morrie's idea of a perfect day is a quiet rebellion against society's obsession with stimulation and spectacle. Takeaway: if you need extravagance to feel joy, you've misunderstood joy. Chapter 18. The 14th Tuesday, we say goodbye. Morrie's decline is sharp now. Breathing is difficult. Speaking takes all his strength. Mitch knows the end is near. He sits by Morrie's side, holds his hand, and thanks him, not just for the lessons, but for the love. Morrie, barely audible, says, I love you. Mitch, finally unguarded, says it back. This is their final class, their final Tuesday. No grand conclusion, just presence. Just love. Just silence. Sometimes, that's the deepest form of communication. Takeaway: saying goodbye is easier when you've said, I love you, enough times. Chapter 19. Graduation. Morrie passes away. But his teachings live on, in Mitch and in us. Mitch reconnects with his brother, slows down, and starts living with intention. He's no longer just surviving, he's living meaningfully. Morrie may have died, but the class continues. Every Tuesday. Every moment we choose love over fear. Takeaway: the real diploma of life is how deeply you've loved and how fully you've lived. And that, my dear friends, was the final bell of Morrie's life class. A book that doesn't just teach you how to say goodbye, it shows you how to truly show up. If this touched something inside you, don't just leave it in the comments. Call someone. Hug tighter. Let go faster. Speak softer. Live deeper. And please, don't just sip the tea, choke on it. Let Morrie's wisdom shake your foundation. This is the summary shelf, where the books are soul food, the insights are real, and the emotions? Always raw. Like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives like this. And I'll catch you in the next one, unless Diddy buys the rights to Tuesdays first.